Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Line Mentality. I'm Coach Lenny with Line Pro. Today we have for you guys a pro prospect defensive end, Caleb Wells. Caleb, appreciate you joining us here today.
Glad to be here.
And we're going to talk to Caleb about recruiting that he went through, about his playing experience, and really the goal with these things is trying to get advice that the future generation of linemen can pick up from, and also their parents and also other coaches out there. So you played college at Grambling State and then finished up at Angelo State,
Yes,
or is
sir.
it just Angelo?
Ended up finishing up at Angelo State.
Okay,
Played my
Angelo
first
State.
year out of junior college initially
Okay.
at Grambling State University, and then had to make the transition to Angelo State due to some clock issues, eligibility-wise,
Right.
with the NCAA.
So let's start from the top then. So you're originally from Portland.
Yeah, I'm a Portland, Oregon guy. Graduated from Grant High School in 2013. Was committed out of high school to Florida A&M University, and grades didn't allow me to get through the NCAA clearinghouse, so I had to make the junior college move. You know.
Now, but I remember from back then, I mean, you were fairly under-recruited, under-known, and then, you know, that was when I first finished playing and started coaching. I think it was my second year of doing camps and stuff with another camp company. We saw you come in, and I remember kind of the hoopla because you obviously got great size. What were you on the roster, 6'7"?
I was listed at 6'7", anywhere 6'7", probably about 265 in high school. Was really probably legitimate 6'6".
Sure,
Listed
yeah,
at
that kind
6'7".
of always happens. That we called that roster extra inch.
Yeah.
Some guys go for a little more. I think I might have seen somebody list you at 6'8" at some point,
yeah,
but
I
that's
was,
hype
yeah.
out of recruiting and stuff. People will go and do that. You're a big dude. You look 6'8" in person.
Yeah.
I can say that, and I imagine with the helmet and shoulder pads on even more. But yeah, so in high school, I remember thinking you might be an O tackle, and people were starting to think that way because you had that size and athleticism.
High school, I mean, I was a guy who played both ways. You know, all my years in high school, all 4 years, I played both ways, O-line and D-line, whether that was the interior, the defensive line, or that was defensive end. And like you said, coming out, I was 6'6", you know, probably around 275. Definitely a great frame for an offensive tackle. So, you know, a lot of schools definitely saw me transitioning to that side for my college ball.
Mm-hmm. And immediately coming out, you said you were originally committed to where?
I was committed to Florida A&M. A lot of schools were scared really to offer me and take a chance on me. I only ended up having 3 Division I offers my senior year, and decided that I wanted to sign with Florida A&M. But the NCAA clearinghouse, you know,
Right. I
didn't end up getting through, so I had to go to junior college first.
Were you going to be a tackle for them, or you weren't sure?
I was going to play offensive line for Florida A&M.
Okay, cool. Well, good. So then you went to JC number 1, Scottsdale CC, and what was the story there? They were having you play both ways, I think you said.
Yeah, I was out in Scottsdale, Arizona. They gave me an opportunity to pay for my school, so I jumped on it. You know, the Western States Football League was still putting guys on scholarship at that point in time. So,
And now they're not?
And now the league is no more.
Okay.
As of right now, so it's just pretty crazy. But hopefully they'll make a comeback.
Yeah.
But yeah, Scottsdale was willing to put me on scholarship and gave me an opportunity to play both sides of the ball, and I jumped on it. I was all for it.
Mm-hmm. And then you played 1 year.
I played my first year at Scottsdale, and once again, grades come into the picture, as you can see.
Yeah.
And end up being academically ineligible for that following season.
Okay.
And my whole thought process going into what would be my redshirt sophomore year, during that redshirt year, was that I just wanted to get in the best shape I possibly could.
Right.
You know, to play the best football I can. And I really wanted to focus on playing the defensive side of the ball. So I kind of made a huge transition from about 285 pounds to probably around 245, 250.
Yeah. And was that on purpose? You're like, I'm going to slim down on purpose?
I don't know if I purposely was like, I had a goal weight of 245, but I think just when I really started putting that work in, the weight just came off.
So this is more of your natural build,
Yeah.
being more slender, like a D end, yeah. Which I think looks good on you, and watching you train and stuff, I think that's a smart move. So then you went to a second JC. Where was that?
I ended up finishing up at Golden West College in Huntington Beach, California, and loved my time out there.
Yeah, because you were playing D end, you're rushing the edge. I mean, I imagine you're getting sacks.
Yeah, really enjoyed it. 4-man front is, in my opinion, the best front there is in football.
Because you get to line up wider
Line up
and
as
rush
wide
off
as
the
I
edge.
feel like, you know, as long as I hold down the edge, as long as I keep contained, I'm allowed to do what I want to do. So really enjoyed my time at Golden West College. Had a lot of offers leaving there, but once again, because of my academic history earlier in junior college, I didn't have the greatest GPA, regardless of what my grades were at Golden West.
Right.
So just my cumulative GPA kind of scared a lot of top-tier FBS programs away from recruiting me. So a lot of my offers were at the FCS level, and made the decision to go with Grambling State. They were true with me throughout the whole recruiting process and kept everything honest, and I felt it was a great fit for me.
Yeah. So you went over there, and once again, because of that, it's almost like when you get these grades, when you start in a pit, it's hard to dig out of that hole.
Yeah.
And that kind of followed you, it sounds like, through college to college. So now you're at Grambling, and what you found out that you wouldn't be able to play right away?
I commit to Grambling, and my first year, I'm deemed academically ineligible. They said I needed a 2.5 GPA to play immediately, and I came in with a 2.48 and went through a long NCAA appeal process and had multiple letters written, and they decided not to clear me. So I found out around week 5 that I would be ineligible for the remainder of the season, but continued to practice and continued to lift, did everything I could, besides playing. So.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting and important to note. I think a lot of guys out there think that, a lot of kids kind of carry that like 2.4, 2.5 in high school, and they think they're going to be good. Like they think, 2.0 is really bad, but 2.5 I'm there. Guys, you got to strive for that 3.0 to be good to go.
I would definitely stress just, if an A is available, a B is not good enough.
Right.
That's something that someone told me once, and it's beginning to stick with me now, because my history is what, as you said, it killed me, regardless of how great my grades were at Golden West College. And I was an honor student while I was at Golden West College because of my past in junior college and how terrible my grades were coming in. My cumulative GPA wasn't where it needed to be for me to be immediately eligible at Grambling State.
Right. So we'll dig back into that academics, because I think that's a huge thing that the kids can take away. But then, so you're at Grambling State, you finished up at Angelo State, right? So you did play. Did you get to play one season at Grambling?
So I set that first year at Grambling, and then was able to play the following season, which was by clock. It was my senior year, but it was only my third year on the football field.
Okay, so let's dig into that. By clock, what's the clock?
So clock, Division I, you have 5 seasons to play for. At the end of the day, you get
starting when?
Starting as soon as you enroll 12 credit hours in college. Any college, whether junior college, whether Division II, Division III, NAIA, Division I, the moment you enroll in 12 credit hours, your Division I clock is ticking.
And the only way, this is from what I've seen at least, you guys could look this up pretty easily, the only way you can stop the clock is with a military commitment or a religious mission. A lot of Mormon guys do a 2-year mission. They'll go do a 1-year, leave for 2 years and come back. But if you start your clock taking 12 credits, it's on, and you got 5 football seasons to play 4 on the field, meaning you can redshirt for 1. And you redshirted right away, so now at the second JC you're a redshirt freshman, and then you had 4 to play, or 3 to play 3?
I ended up I burnt my initial red shirt after my freshman year in junior college. Like I said, I was ineligible after my first year, so that was my red shirt season. So leaving junior college, I was a 2-for-2 guy. I was a 2 years to play 2. I left junior college as a red shirt sophomore.
Okay. So then you had to sit 1 and burn a good year,
literally.
And then you tried to appeal for it, lost, played what would be your last eligible season of D1 football, and then instead of trying to appeal again and go for a 6th year of eligibility like a lot of guys do, usually when there's an injury involved, you decided I'll just go to a D2 where they'll be able to have me play because they don't have the exact same eligibility rules. It's a little more flexible.
Yeah, like I said, I had already lost the division, my NCAA appeal my first year at Grambling, and was very skeptical about going through that whole appeal process, especially after I had freshly graduated. And at that point in time, going into the summer, guys are getting ready for camp, and I just wanted to be certain on where I was going to be and where I was going to play that next year, and didn't want to put all my hopes into coming back and playing for Grambling State, and it didn't come to fruition. So
then you're out of,
made the decision to drop down Division II, so I was eligible immediately.
Yeah, good. So then you played at Angelo, and now you're getting ready to go try to play for pros. And you got the Pro Day coming up, and you're going to do that back at Grambling.
Yeah, I got my Pro Day scheduled for March 19th at 8:30 back at Grambling State, so I'm very excited for that. I would never think I would get to perform on that field again. So.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah. I'm excited for you, and I know you've been working hard here, so I'm gonna, we'll dig more into the Pro Day training, but I want to go back to the academics because, you went to like what would be considered a city school, right? Were you in public schools your whole life?
I've been in public schools my entire life. And this is, I would say especially I would stress to the parents that that have a kid that you feel he can play football at the college level, whether Division I, Division II, Division III. The eligibility has to be there. And my issue was I wasn't a GPA problem coming out of high school, but the English class that I took my senior year wasn't a NCAA clearinghouse English class.
Oh.
And that information wasn't, portrayed to me from my counselor, and I didn't find out until close to signing day that I wouldn't be able to sign, with my school choice. And it kind of hurt me because I passed that class. I had a great grade in that class, but it wasn't an NCAA clearinghouse class, so it didn't count as the credits, and I ended up being short as far as my English requirements.
Right, so that was kind of that initial ripple that caused this whole thing. When you got to that first JC, was it similar where it was kind of the way the credits added up, or did you kind of drop the ball as a student?
I would definitely say my first year in college, I dropped the ball.
Yeah, and I see that a lot. Is why I asked. I assume that's the case.
Yeah, no question.
What you're dealing with, guys, is that when you're in high school, you've got your parents pushing you, you've got the recruiting, the hope. Something bad happens, it falls through, and you end up at a JC. Now you're on your own, and it's not only you, but it's your teammates around you, right? And most of the JC guys are there because they couldn't perform grades in high school. They're great football players. So then they go to a JC, and you're all together, and it's very tempting to socialize, to not focus on grades. So I always tell guys when they go to JC for that first year, get your head on straight academically, right? And I think that's something you can speak to. I mean, what happened? Was it like that?
I would say it's huge because during my first year, I played pretty well. I was playing both defensive tackle and offensive tackle, playing heavily both ways, heavily in the rotation both ways. And was receiving a lot of Division I interest. But when schools came and, found out I was a guy that was going to have to do 2 years and was already a grade problem guy, they kind of turned off.
Yeah.
I remember University of Ohio was there, I think probably week 3. Out with the camcorder and loved the way I practiced, and their first question to me was, "Are you a qualifier?" Because they were ready to bring me in now, and grades wise, there was nothing that they could do for me. So,
So if you're sitting right here right now talking to a kid, even let's say you're talking to yourself as a junior in high school, let's say maybe a sophomore, and you knew that you're wanting to get recruited, you got a chance to play football, what would you do differently? What would you tell him?
I would tell myself to really have a plan. If you really see yourself playing at the college level, it's not just something that pops up by osmosis, whether academically or athletically. Just having things planned out, having my grades in order, knowing what classes I need to take to get where I want to get the proper GPA, to get through the clearinghouse. Grades, really, at the end of the
absolutely.
day. I would preach down my younger self's throat.
Yeah. And then maybe, for the kids out there, just set an appointment with your counselor.
Definitely.
To say exactly what do I need to do.
Just that transparency between you and the counselor, and even at that age, having your parents involved, I don't think is a bad idea. Just so everybody is on the same page about where you want to go.
Yeah.
You have goals, and the counselor is there to help you meet those goals as well as your parents. So I definitely think it's a collective effort.
Absolutely. And what are some of the factors? Because nobody knew about you until you were a junior.
I was a guy, I didn't go to a lot of camps, very unknown recruit. I went to a smaller school, Benson High School. I played my first 3 years, and we were not a well-known team. Didn't send a lot of guys out, didn't win a lot of games. And after my junior year, I had 36 tackles and 6 sacks after my junior year. And I began, for the first time in my life, going to college camps and started getting a little bit of exposure. I believe I went to 3 camps before my senior year. And so was still heavily under-recruited, but had just inched my name on a couple people's boards. So,
yeah, well, good stuff. I think there's a lot there for a kid to pull. Obviously, you expect to hear from an interview like this. Anything we do, we're always going to preach grades. But to come from somebody who struggled with grades and is able to look back and see why, and then also after that had a time when you figured it out and became an honor roll student at the next school you went to, I mean, that's huge because to learn from a guy like that, you can see exactly where you missed and then exactly where you succeeded, right? So just in general, when you're approaching school, what if somebody's struggling out there, whether they're having trouble with their homework or tests or they don't like their teachers or the teachers don't like them, what strategically are some tips you could give a kid?
Strategically, like I said, I feel like transparency on any end is crucial. Being aware of where exactly you are and where you need to go, whether that's with your teacher, whether you have a problem with that teacher, or like you said, that teacher may not like you, or you may have some disagreements. At the end of the day, their job is to, give you the information for you to succeed. So being transparent with that teacher as much as you can. Counselors, I believe, were huge with me, because in high school, clearly I didn't, take it as serious and wasn't on my counselor like I should have been. And we ended up being on 2 different pages, and he put me in the wrong English class. Mm-hmm. But at Golden West, me and my counselor worked hand in hand on me getting my associates. Me and my counselor at Grambling State worked hand in hand, in the planning of me eventually getting my degree and graduating from Grambling State. So just that transparency and having a plan, just having things in order, having a set plan on getting things done and how you want to approach things.
Yeah, I love it. I've known you for a while now, and I've seen you growing immensely since way back then. I knew you as a junior, not well, but worked with you at some camps and stuff. And you've really come a long way as a person. It's cool to see. I didn't know you got your degree from Grambling State. That's great. Congratulations for that. What did you study?
Criminal justice.
Cool.
I graduated with my bachelor's in criminal justice from Grambling.
So what do you plan to do with that after football?
I wasn't sure how much criminal justice would help me football-wise. That's kind of why I made the transfer to Angelo State. When I made the decision to drop down Division II, their coach called me and he told me that they had a coaching program, a coaching, sport, recreation, and fitness master's degree. And that kind of sparked my interest, because I knew at the end of the day I wanted to coach. I wanted to work with kids, so why not be able to get a master's in coaching and really learn the ins and outs of why you do what you do.
Absolutely. But your degree is in criminal justice. I think I saw something somewhere that you said that maybe you could work as a parole officer, perhaps?
I worked, my father was a corrections officer,
Okay.
juvenile corrections officer. And I'm big with kids. I love kids. When I say kids, I'm saying anywhere between 12 to 18.
Yeah.
So I'm big on influencing the lives of youth. So when I say definitely juvenile corrections, as far as my criminal justice degree, I could see a future in that.
Nice. Cool, man. So now, talking about the here and now, we're here at Lion Pro Football. Also, we are inside of Grind Time Fitness, and Grind Time, every year, Aaron Woods, they get pro prospects in here doing some combine training, really, for pro days and such. And that's what you're doing now. So, take us through an average day in the life of a Pro Day trainee. I've been through it, but a lot of guys out there might not know what that's like.
The average day, at least here at Grind Time, for me, I'm a guy who's from Portland, and this is located in Beaverton, so I'm up every day at 5:30. Just making sure I cook a good breakfast, get a good meal in, and then I head over here, make sure I give myself plenty of time to get stretched out. We're going at 9 o'clock every day. Our first session, I'm stretching by about 8:30, really preparing my mind mentally and preparing my body for the workout. He'll give us different workout on a daily basis, so we'll see the workout sheet from the 9 o'clock session. Probably after we'll finish closer around 11:30ish. And we'll get a small break, a time to get off your feet and rest, and then we're back hitting it again at 3, working on a drill specific, whether that's the 40-yard dash or the 3-cone or, L drill, whatever.
Right. So lifting in the morning, break with lunch, whatever you need to do, recovery, stretching, rolling, and then later on you guys are working on those combine drills. What are the different tests these days for a pro day? What are you guys working on?
We're working for the 40-yard dash heavily, working the 3-cone drill heavily.
Right, that's the L drill. Some people call that.
The 20-yard shuttle we've been working on a lot.
Some call it pro shuttle or 5-10-5 as well.
5-10-5 as well, definitely. The vertical jump and the broad jump have been our areas of focus.
Right, plus the bench press, of course.
And the bench press,
so they do as many reps as you can do at 225. Funny story for me, at the NFL Combine, they messed me up as far as the 2 guys who were benching before I went, they decided they weren't benching, and I found out at that moment. So I thought I had probably 5 minutes left to rest, and I had just done a warm-up set. So I did 24 reps, and then a week later at my pro day, I took all the time I needed, and I was able to do 31. So I got 7 more reps by sticking to the plan. But when I got the 24, I was locking them all the way out. I was breathing on every rep. I didn't stick to the plan that we had during training. So my advice to you is don't let anybody rush you, right? Take your time, do the whole warm-up that Aaron gives you, and stick to the plan that you've been practicing, right? Because if I could have done 31 at the combine, that would have been huge, because people are going to take that number over whatever I did at the Pro Day, right? So, and when is the Pro Day? In March, you said?
March 19th.
March 19th, okay. So how do you feel so far? You feel like you're getting stronger?
I
better?
feel pretty good. My times are decreasing week by week, so just really focusing on the technique, like you said, not getting into my own and what I feel is best, but really honing in on that technique and trusting it.
Yeah.
You know, as long as you trust it and just being smooth throughout every drill, no forceful energy, but as long as everything is smooth and looks good and my times are cutting down week by week, I feel pretty confident.
Are you trying to specifically like add weight at all, get bigger?
I would love to add weight. You know, at the end of the day, I've talked to a few teams, and teams are kind of confused on, well, not confused, but they don't know whether they see me as a guy with his hand in the dirt or a guy that stands up. And I've played in multiple defense. I've been a 4-3 guy, I've been a 3-3-5 guy, I've been a 3-4 guy. So, you know, I know what it all looks like, and I'm comfortable wherever. So if it means, you know, me putting my hand in the dirt and getting back to a 275, 280, I don't have a problem with it. But I would say for me, just goal weight, I would love to play at a 265. 265 would be a great.
And you'd love to play a 4-man front and go rush the DN?
Definitely.
Yeah, but you could flip around and play tight end if you wanted.
I feel like I can play tight end. Definitely. I haven't played tight end since my high school days, but I led the team in pancakes my senior season.
There you go.
At tight end, so
at tight end.
Very aggressive tight end.
Can you catch?
I can.
All right, he's got hands. Get this man the ball. Well, good. And then, you know, in this preparation time, talk about nutrition a little bit.
Nutrition's been huge, just changing the way I eat. You know, at this point, you know, coming up in high school, football, you know, it's fun. Football is always going to be fun, but just the level of focus is different now that I'm out of school and I'm choosing this for a career path. My body's my business at the end of the day, so I have to do everything that allows me, you know, to perform at the top level. So changing a lot in my diet, even if it means eating more of what I don't like, regardless, it's been huge. Nutrition.
Love that. And what about supplements? You the kind of guy that likes to do protein, creatine?
I've been on protein supplement and creatine supplement. I think I should be on a few more. I definitely need to do my research on a few more. But this is all as far as really taking care of my body. I don't think I ever have until this point in my life, and it's new. Of course, it's going to be rough, but I'm enjoying the process. You know, I see the changes in my body, so I'm definitely all for it.
Yeah. I mean, with your build, if you can change your body to meet whatever these scouts want, I mean, that's got to be looking good to them because you're super athletic, you know, and you've got some really good film. You know, you really are a diamond in the rough because, you know, there's a lot of guys like that out there who because of grades or whatnot, bounce around JC, you know, and then don't have a ton of true, I guess you don't have a big mass of film, but the film you do have is good, and I'm really interested to see what happens. As a D-end, when it comes to run plays, pass plays, moves, you know, what's your favorite? What do you like? Multiple things.
In the run game, like I said, in high school, I was always the biggest guy. I was always, you know, like in high school, I was around 6'6", 275, and I played with guys, threw guys around, so didn't have to use a lot of technique. But I would definitely say that helped me in the run game. Being where I am now, around 245, 250, is just I played a run game with a lot of aggression.
Physicality.
A lot of physicality. I don't like to get moved off the line of scrimmage. I like to play the run from the backfield personally. I feel as long as I can reset the line of scrimmage at the minimum and I can keep containing, I've done my job.
Yeah, absolutely. On the pass, let's say it's 3rd and 15. What's going through your head? What would you tell some kids?
3rd and 15, what's going on in my head, I probably won't tell the kids because 3rd and 15, I'm probably looking to set them up to go inside. I might tell a kid to run the edge. But it's all based upon what that O-lineman gives you, you know. So 3rd and 15, I'm definitely in my jet stance, though. I'm not thinking about a run. I'm pinning my ears back, going to get the quarterback.
Yeah, I'm trying to beat him with speed as fast as you can, get upfield, get him moving.
I would say I'm fast, but I wouldn't say I necessarily rely on speed rush. I try to work my hands in a lot. I'm a longer guy, so it may look like a speed rush coming out, and I may just end up long-arming the guy and working off of that. So I try to use my length as much as I can in the pass rush.
Sure, absolutely. That long arm's tough when if you got a long arm. I was a guy who had short arms, and for me, I hated when someone would be able to one arm long. Because if you two arm extend somebody, it's not so bad. But when you turn your body, you can get a lot of extra real estate there. And as an O lineman, if I can't reach your body, I'm going to be moving back until I do something else. That's kind of a third option, knocking that hand down. So absolutely hated going against super tall guys. I preferred the shorter guys who were, thick and strong. But I hated when someone was like 6'6" on the inside. That's why you play center when you got short arms and you're shorter. Is because you don't want to end up going against these kind of guys out there at tackle. Well, good, man. Is there anything else outside of the grades? And we talked about lifting. We talked about recruiting. Is there anything to a young kid who's getting ready to play, his sophomore season, freshman, sophomore, junior season? He's going through recruiting. You've probably seen a lot of guys kind of rise and fall. You've probably seen good players not make it. What would you tell a kid as far as a couple pieces of advice?
I would tell a kid, first of all, to stay the course. It's not always going to be easy. You're going to have ups and downs no matter how heavily recruited you are, but just kind of keeping that almost even keel, and regardless of whether things are very good or whether things are very, very bad, you can control the way you respond and the way you react. And the way you react should always be the same. I think just keeping your head on straight, like you said, having a plan, involving your parents. If your parents are active in your lives, definitely keep them involved. They should definitely be with your counselor in high school. You should be meeting with your counselor. They should be meeting with your counselor. Everybody should be on the same page on where you want to go, what GPA you want to get. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, we talked a lot in previous episodes before, but I think it's something to harp on. But some kids, their parents kind of run the show. Some kids, their parents aren't involved. Some kids don't want their parents to be involved. Some kids, it's kind of that mix. And it can be really embarrassing when your parents are talking to coaches or whatever. You might feel that way and worried, but embrace it. But it's on you to make sure that they're not the only ones talking, right? You guys got to step up and, learn how to give a good firm handshake to a coach. Look them in the eye, because they need to believe in you and not just what your parents are saying.
No, it's definitely a collective effort. It can't just be on you. As a 15, 16-year-old kid, it's only going to be so much you can handle.
Yeah.
And then it can't just be on your parents. They're working a job. They're doing what they need to do to provide for you. It has to be, an effort from the staff at the school, from yourself, and from those parents. Just all working together, all having that common goal in mind and how to reach that common goal.
Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on.
Glad to
Hopefully
be here.
you'll be a part of Line Pro going into the future. Definitely. Hopefully you have some success out there. You got a lot. Now they've got the CFL has always been there, NFL. You got the new league, the AAFL. Mm-hmm. So and obviously indoor football of different types. So you have an opportunity to be patient and let your body really develop. If the first swing with the pros doesn't work out, there's a lot of guys every year that try. A lot of people probably don't know. 95 players go into camp every year. There's 32 teams. Right? And then they cut down to 53, and they keep 10 on the practice squad. So you could say 63 players end up on the NFL teams at all times out of 95. So quick math, what is that? 23 people getting cut from camp every time. Let's see, 95 to 63 is 32. 32,
Two-man cut.
Right? And you can do your flashcards and study the math. We've got calculators on our phones now, so who cares? But we don't have that here with us now. So 32 people get cut, 32 teams, 900 players every season on the bubble and getting not paid for their effort of going to a team. Now, I was that way. I went to camp with the Bears. You'll probably experience that, right? But the point is staying the course, utilizing some of those other leagues, building your body, seeing this thing as a 4-year, 5-year horizon, and I think you can give yourself a chance to play some good football. So that's what I'm hoping for you. But you guys keep working. Like Caleb said, keep your mind on the prize, have a plan, and see the light at the end of the tunnel. Don't be here and now thinking, I've got 3 years to get my grades right. Get them right now. Get with your counselors, and go get yourself some success with those college scholarships. I'm Coach Linney. That's Caleb Wells, and we'll see you guys next time on Line Mentality.